Hey, hi guys, welcome back. All right, before we jump on into this message, let's go ahead and make a note of who the two winners are from yesterday. So we did 2 giveaways because I did a bonus message part 1 and part 2. So the bonus message from part 1, that winner is Belinda Frank. And Belinda, you won the tarot deck, the Modern Witch tarot deck. And then the winner from part 2 is Isabella Montefiore. And so Isabella, you won the tarot card moon pendant necklace and the little journal that goes along with it. So Isabella and Belinda, if the two of you would please reach out to me, let me know where in the world you would like me to mail your prizes to. You will find my email is right there in the description box. Just copy and paste that and then send me a little email that tells me what address you would like me to mail your prizes to. I will respond to you within 24 hours of receiving a message from you. So if you didn't hear back from me, please know it's because I did not get a message. So please try again. Like I say, always copy and paste just because that way we know it'll get to me. And do double check whatever the address is that you are going to send me that you want me to mail your prize to, so we make sure you get your prize. All right, so now for today's prize giveaway, this is open to all my subscribers. To subscribe is free. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and enter to win by writing the word mood. And that is because inside of this little goofy bag, support your local Kevin. I just thought that was funny. By the way, I'm so not into black magic. I don't believe in curses. I don't believe in witchcraft. I don't believe in any of that stuff. But it's Halloween. Let's have some fun, right? And I thought that was cute and funny. We've got a little choker necklace. This is a simpler one than some of the others I'd given away earlier on in the month. Sorry, I'm like trying to get my head out of the way. I have a very short neck. That's why I don't look good at chokers. And a mood ring. So that's why I was like, oh, I'm turning blue. I don't know what blue means, but I'm in a good mood. So let's assume it means good, right? If anybody knows, let me know what that means. So yeah, if you want to enter to win this, just write the word mood, M-O-O-D. Sorry. I know I was not speaking and enunciating very clearly there. But yeah, and don't forget to watch tomorrow because that's when I will tell you who the winner is. Also, spoiler alert, keep your notification bells turned on because somewhere right around the Halloween holiday, I will be going live. I've got things that I will be doing extra giveaways on. Any prizes that are not claimed by the end of the month, I give them away live at the end of a month. And so I will be doing that at some point in time on Halloween. I might also do a couple free card pulls for subscribers. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure your notification bells are turned on. I know in the past there have been issues with notification bells not alerting people. One of the things that I have heard fixes that is unsubscribe, resubscribe, and then make sure that your notification bell is turned on. It's like, I guess it kind of helps refresh it a little bit. So if any of you have ever struggled with that, I don't go live very often. But I will always give you guys kind of a heads up if I'm about to. And so I just want to make sure that everybody has opportunity. Okay. All right, here we go. So I always say something that really happened with my dog to start these videos out. And, all I'm going to say is that he's made some big jumps in his behavior. He has changed very noticeably in like the last week. He's so much more mature. And, of course I'm partial to him, right? But some other people noticed the changes in him and commented, and I was like, I know, it's like so impressive. There's this new sense of awareness, alertness. He's always been a good protector, but now it's like he is like the house is his house, his domain. It's more, he was always even as a baby, I saw this trait in him where he was going to be a great little guard dog, but there's a new vibe to him that is so mature, and it's so, I don't know, I'm so proud of him. So sorry, that's just like the proud mom talking about their kid. I know, I'm that lady. But let's go ahead and hold on to that because that's a really good vibe. When you watch somebody and you go, wow, that person has really come a long way, or that, in this case, my dog. But maybe that'll factor in. Maybe it's somebody recognizing that, hey, I've come a long way. I'm proud of me. We've got a 2 of Swords, which says somebody doesn't see something or somebody's blocking something, next to an 8 of Cups in the reverse, which says somebody is on their way back in or thinking about wanting to return. Yet we have the Fool card in the reverse. The way I look at this, So our most important card here would be the major arcana, right? So the Fool card. So if that's our most important message, is I'm not going to jump. Okay, there, we've got that settled for the moment. However, I gotta say, this is somebody who's thinking, they're thinking long and hard about wanting to, I don't know that I want to use the word retreat, but maybe rewind is the better word to use. But because we've got this veil, someone is saying, I just can't see if this would be a good idea for me or not. The problem is they're keeping themselves in that land of indecision, in that limbo land. They are not, they could lay down those swords, but they're scared. So there's fear here. And that's what's keeping somebody from actually rewinding. Now, could we say maybe somebody is, maybe they're afraid that if they do something, then their life would actually kind of like go backwards. Maybe this is somebody who has progressed and they're like, I'm so scared to do that because it might take me backwards. It could be that. What is it that this person would benefit from seeing if they took that veil down? 3 of Cups in the reverse. If, I hate to say it this way, but I'm just going to say this bluntly. Maybe this person, if they could take down that veil, maybe they would see that the thing, they're like, oh gosh, I don't know, I'm nervous about doing this. What if the thing that they might want to do, which in this case could be returning to a person, what if that person wouldn't actually want this person to return to them? You know, this could be somebody's like all up in their heads about something, and it's like, don't worry about it, like I'm good. I mean, I know that sounds like a tough message, but just because somebody wants to return doesn't mean the other person wants them to. We've got the Hanged Man in the reverse, and we got the 6 of Wands. I gotta say, I think somebody has moved on here. This, if this lead character is this person who's been thinking, gosh, I'd like to return to so-and-so. Gosh, I think about them all the time, but I'm so scared. I don't know. This says, well, the other person's not waiting for them. The other person, if they knew this, if they understood that the other person has actually made a lot of success in their life and they don't have that same question mark, it might be really nice for this character to know that, because then they could go, oh, never mind then, not an issue. I don't even know. That summarizes it quickly for me. I don't need to think about should I not go back to this. It's not really an option for me because this person's moved on. Our Hanged Man in the reverse. Somebody got tired of waiting. Somebody who did wait around for an individual said, I'm not waiting around for them anymore. Could have been a Pisces, doesn't have to be. They moved on and their life is good for having moved on. They got tired of waiting around. Character number 2 got tired of waiting around. Whoever our Pisces person is, this would be somebody who would be deeply emotional, possibly highly intuitive, someone, very sensitive, somebody who also, if something is not emotionally fulfilling, they would have had the courage to say, as much as I wish that this could have worked, I can't wait for it to work anymore. So I've moved on and I'm successful now. Whomever this character is, they don't need to be a Pisces, but this is our character that is actually the bigger factor in, I think, the most important factor. I'll put it that way. But let's go back to our first character. This one who is kind of standing here going, should I want to, I'm really thinking about it, but I just don't know if I should reach out, if I should go back to that Pisces person. Tell me a little bit more about where they're at. We've got a King of Pentacles in the reverse. This person doesn't actually seem to be very balanced. They don't seem to have much to offer. They don't really seem like they're in a place in their life where they're balanced. So why are they even contemplating going back? 7 of Wands in the reverse. Okay, I don't love this. They might be under this false impression. Okay, so I'm not going to paint a very nice picture of this lead character. So forgive me, but I don't pick the cards that come out. We've got a person who's been like, I want to go back to that really loving individual. I want to, but gosh, I just don't know if I should. I'm scared to go back. The thing is, they still don't have their feet on solid ground. It's really hard to make decisions when we're not super solid in what we think, what we feel. I feel like this person is really kind of in a drifting place. But one of the reasons that they think it would be nice to go back to this really loving individual might be because they go, that person, man, they loved me so good. They loved me so right. This was so nice. They made life a lot easier. So if I did go back to them, a lot of things, a lot of burdens that I faced, I wouldn't have. Maybe this person is like, I don't know where I'm going to live. I'm not really sure that my job is going to be stable. I'm not really sure about my money. So if I went back to that amazing, sensitive, loving person, I know that my life would be easier if I went back to them. I don't like that one bit. I don't like that one bit. Tell me about our other person over here. Let's change decks for them. Our sensitive, tender, like really kind of like good vibe person over here. The one that I'm calling the Pisces, the Hanged Man card. Again, they moved on. They moved on like in a big way. They moved on at the soul level. They didn't carry bitterness toward this person. They let it go. They are in a place where it's like, oh my gosh, not only have I healed, but I called in all kinds of other like really awesome energy flow for myself. Could be a Virgo now also. We have again somebody deeply intuitive and an individual who is able to say, hey, when something's over, it's over, and I'm okay with that. And let me just kind of like use whatever. I don't think this was easy because a Six of Swords says it was really choppy waters. It was really hard on this person to let it go. But they did because they said, well, I got to live in a more tranquil life. I can't be, like sad. Heck, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what happened here, but it could even be that our Pisces Virgo person over here, that hermit hanged man person, they might have actually been left by our lead character. This lead character might have actually abandoned them or broken things off with them, but now in their mind they still kind of think that they could come back. My left ear is itching. Interesting. Let's go to the universe, shall we? Let's talk to the universe about this situation. My dog is asleep with his belly to the sky. Tell me, what's the universe got to say about this entire situation? And I want the overview. That's the question I'll ask for, is what is the overview on this? And then I feel like we need to move on. The overview is King of Sacred Circles. It came out a little jaunty angle, a little tilted. The overview is like everything has to be coming from a place of groundedness. The most important thing is groundedness. So if that first character, and this is the same as the King of Pentacles, and our first character came out as a King of Pentacle in the reverse, they're not grounded. And the universe says, you got to get grounded. Meanwhile, our other person moved on, right? And that Virgo energy, that hermit, is all about finding oneself and getting grounded. I feel like both of these individuals have needed to get grounded for two different reasons. Maybe this Virgo Piscean energy, maybe they had to get grounded because of the upheaval that they went through with this person. But this is in the upright, and it just says the most important thing is we can't make good decisions unless we're making them at a time frame where we're like calm in our heart and mind, so we can really hear like, what do I want? Why do I want it? What's my motivation? And I feel like that's the only way to like make sure that we're making really good decisions, at least the way I interpret this. What's the universe got to say about this person who is not currently grounded, who's scared to come forward, but thinks like continuously about wanting to return, but kind of wants to do it maybe for what I would argue is maybe the wrong reason, since it's like they just want things to be easier for themselves, but they're not really grounded yet. Two of Sacred Circles. The universe's message to this person is, well, actually it's a much softer message than I might have just said. This is not really about you need to quit juggling, you need to figure out what you want to do. I could say that also, and the Two of Sacred Circles is that. But this card has a really deep spiritual vibe to it to me. Because what we see is, that figure 8 of the infinity symbol that is actually lassoing these two, almost like the universe is saying, understand why you really want to return to this person. Understand why you feel like this person is still a part of your life, your current or your future. Figure that part out. You need to get balanced, and you're not going to find the answer until you first get a foundation under your feet, and then you really look at this for what it is, because this might actually be a really powerful connection. But this person has to understand that it's a connection that is all about balance, and they're not going to be able to understand it unless they can first get balanced enough to view it. It's almost like they have to understand, and this is going to sound mean too, but if they are currently in a place where there's like a big deficit, and I'm going to talk about it in a spiritual context, like this person hasn't maybe leveled up in a way where they can understand, why am I still drawn to someone? It's like they're still thinking this really shallow level where it's like, well, my life would be easier if I was with them because they were really nice to me. Okay, that's a really superficial reason to go towards somebody. But they didn't say, I want their money. They didn't say, I just want to use them. What they said is that person that I used to deal with, they made me feel like my life was calmer, was better. So whatever you did for this person, they know the value of your energy in their life, because you seem to make them maybe even feel more confident. You made them feel like life went smoother with you in it. But the problem is, I don't think that they've identified, why is that? It's because you had a grounding influence. That's the thing that they don't have yet. They need to get balanced enough and think about, what is it that draws me to this wonderful person? Why did they make my life feel easier and better? It wasn't just that they loved me so good. It was that they somehow made me feel like things were going to be okay, like I could handle stuff. If that's what you did for this person, the universe is saying, you've got to, you, meaning this person, has got to figure this out. The real reason that they still feel connected, that they still feel drawn, that they still feel interwoven into the fabric of this person's life, because it's not for a shallow reason. That's what I would say. Now, this could just be that they need to understand and respect the quality of who this person is. And maybe they've never thought deeply enough about it to think of it that way and be like, wow, I feel like you make my life better when you're in it, because you're actually somebody really amazing. Maybe they haven't given our lead character or our other person props yet. Maybe they've never really said that about, or thought that even identified it. Okay, what's the universe got to say with our second character, the one I just referred to as quote unquote you, right? It's hard when we didn't get really good cards to help me identify what I should call this person. So there's still the Pisces Virgo character. Whereas I think we should probably call that first person that King of Pentacles in the reverse, right? Okay, so the message for our second character, the one I've been referring to as you, the more sensitive individual who made this first person's life better, even though they couldn't quite identify why. We have a 4 of Cups in the reverse. The universe says, don't stress out about this one. Until this person gets their mind right, you're not missing out on anything. All you're missing out on there is their chaos. We didn't invite chaos. Nobody wants a cup full of chaos. That would be the equivalent of somebody handing you a nice big old beverage, and it's not drinkable substance. It's, whatever, a cup of dust or something. And it's okay, you didn't just hand me anything to drink at all. That it's not a missed opportunity. If somebody isn't really handing you anything because they aren't balanced enough to even identify, why am I drawn to you? What's important about this? Then the universe says, don't worry about this one. Don't even look back. Keep doing your thing. There's no need to shed tears over this one at all, because there's a lot that still has to be figured out by this person. There's a lot of balance that is still needed here. Okay, so Let me get another card here from the universe for the energy between them currently, if anything. Is there a message for both of them about the energy currently between them? Because I feel like these two are definitely apart. So we have an Ace of Sacred Circles, we have a Six of Cups, and we have the Queen of Sacred Circles. So basically, once again, it's like we're not actually a match. We should have a king and a queen in the upright if they were going to be a match. This would be the King and the Queen of Pentacles, but they're not upright. Says, nope, don't give to this. Right now, the energy vibe is both people, even if they want a new beginning, they have to have a new beginning separate. You notice how this is completely cut in half. They both have things to do separately. Could they be soulmates who return to each other later? Absolutely. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen yet. She can't give to the situation. In fact, it's almost like if she tried to give right now, because of this gigantic mismatch, I think it would have been somebody got depleted instead. So both people, the first message we got for the mutual energy was both people have to step into the divine masculine energy and get super grounded. Then the current energy between the two of them is, even if they both think about like, man, I'd like to have a new beginning, and even with each other, it kind of seems like, okay, but wait. New beginnings separately might behoove both of them. Like they basically like blossom a little bit more separately at the same time, and that preserves an opportunity to come back around. But there can't be an overgiving on the side of this Queen of Pentacles. Now, let me look at the future aspect, right? If that's the current, I mean, that kind of seeped into the future, because it's almost like if they did try to come back, there would still be a big old mismatch, to the point where that Queen of Pentacles could even get really resentful. I mean, it could get ugly if they tried to get back together right now, when one person is still like, well, I just want you to make my life feel better. I don't know what I want from you. I just want you to make me feel better because something about you makes me feel better. If that's their only reason right now to like stumble, toward her, she's not going to be thrilled about that. I'm going to go ahead and now we've seen like a matched pair, right? We've already known that first character is that King of Pentacles. Now we're going to say that Virgo Pisces character is actually the Queen of Pentacles. And it's kind of like a little bit of a forewarning. If these two tried to have a new beginning right now, it would still be so mismatched that I think the Queen would get pretty ticked off, and could even bring up like not super nice traits, because when you feel like, wait a second, so what do you want with me? You don't know. You just think that I make your life somehow easier. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Thanks. So glad I could just be of service to you, so you don't respect me, you don't like me, you don't even know what you want from me. Yeah, that's not flattering. I just feel like that's let's avoid that. So the future potential, though, according to the universe, is a new beginning, a new dawn, a new way to see the world, a fresh set of eyes. I feel like this could be one of those stories where these two, they could still find each other again. Could. But with the World card there, man, it would be really significant. Look at the Hierophant in the reverse. I don't see in this storyline, do remember these are fictional stories. This has no bearing on your life or how your story in your real life will ever go, okay? But in this particular story, by the time these two in the future do find one another again, do communicate again, I don't think that either one of them will be viewing each other as like we're supposed to be a married couple. Instead, they may view one another with a totally different vision. I do think these two can have harmony. It's just with the Hierophant in the reverse here, I really think that these two don't form the commitment to each other that maybe was a potential at one point. You know what I would say? Sometimes we meet people that are important to us, but it's hard to assign what role they have in our lives at first. And this could be one of those where we realize after time apart, after growth separately, we realize when we see each other much later on, like, oh my God, we're only friends. That's all we could have been in this lifetime. Like we see each other in a different way. We don't see this strong connection. We don't see a marriage here. We actually see the absence of that. We see it's like we see each other in a totally different light. And I think it's good that we bypassed anything that would have been like damaging or hurtful had these two tried to cling together when it was, I don't know, it was kind of a muddled mess a little bit. We've got a Princess of Staves. We've got a Five of Sacred Circles in the reverse. And we've got this 10 of Staves. It's mostly in the reverse, but at a little tilted angle. I want to say these two, if anything, there's mutual admiration. They may sit down and have a cup of coffee 10 years down the road. And it's like, wow, I really admire and respect you. And maybe that's what this was all about. We realized that we didn't miss out on the love of a lifetime. We actually closed some cycles, closed some chapters, and there could still be a little regret on one person's side, and there's none on the other person's side. None. I'm going to go ahead and say it may be a little bit more because she's the one that we see here with the Princess of Staves. This could be a little bit of the person who was the queen could have actually really gone on in their life to have some pretty fantastic lifestyle choices that they've made. Now, I don't read for genders. It's just for the sake of identifying which character is which. I'm going to lean towards saying that because we have another feminine depicted here. So if this is the outcome for that Queen of Pentacles character, is that years later when they meet up, they're like, oh my God, you are like, you look fabulous. Your life is super rich. You've got like an entire, like sexy persona that it's like you've changed. There's something about you where you got younger. You got, you turned your life into some great adventure. And I almost feel like there's a lot of respect. I feel like there's a lot of respect between these two at this point, or certainly directed toward her, but I don't see her as having any kind of like, oh, thank God, now you're here. Let's fall into each other's arms and try this all over again. There's none of that. And remember, this character had already moved on from this and had already said, no, I'm good without this. I'm going other places. And I kind of feel like it could be that king might have a little bit of like, gosh, I wish that things had gone a little different. But still, there's a certain amount of acceptance, and I feel like these two ended up better off as friends than they ever would have in a relationship. I feel like this was one of those situations that was a mismatch for a relationship, but they were soulmates. So this was not the, passionate love of a lifetime. This was, I think we're friends in this lifetime. I think that, and that's valuable too, right? Let me just ask really quickly, what is a really wonderful thing that each of them gets to experience in their life? Like kind of like what's some of the sum of what their life becomes, especially in this time that they're apart from each other. Okay, so for that king actually has to go through some pretty rocky times. Big old regret and hurt. And I know that doesn't sound super fun, but those things change us. We've got a Queen of Cups upright. We've got a High Priestess upright. And we got the Eight of Wands upright. You know what? Maybe this king, after the initial, like, man, what kind of a mess have I created for myself? Maybe they actually do wind up on a bit of a journey where they wind up meeting someone who's, like, loving, although I kind of question that because this Queen of Cups is dumping the cup out into her own little pool that she sits in. I've always had a hard time thinking that this was a very loving queen. She does not look loving, and she is not offering it to anyone. She's in fact saying, oh, you want this? Well, you can't have it. It's all mine. I gotta say, it could even be that our king possibly learns a bit of a lesson. Maybe if they once upon a time were kind of drawn to that Queen of Pentacles more for like what she could do for them. They could encounter someone who seems really sweet and nice, but basically doesn't give a whole lot in return to them, which is an unusual way to interpret a Queen of Cups in the upright. But I just can't help but look at her face and her reaction, and it just doesn't look like a giver. They may learn kind of a harsh lesson. That, or she keeps him in check and says, you can't have anything from me unless you're going to like give in return. There's something here about like they've had to learn some things that they subtly knew, but I don't think they clearly identified. But later on, I think that they get it straightened out. I think that maybe this is even why these two someday sit down and have a conversation, because they learn a really important lesson, is what it looks like, somewhere along their life journey. Now, let's take a look at what goes on for our Queen of Pentacles. What happens in her life story in this time that they are apart? Because we've seen that she moves on from this, and we've seen that she doesn't really look back too much. Hold on, we just got two cards. Well, we've got the shadow side and we've got the Knight of Pentacles. So first off, she walks away from the devil. She gets over any kind of, I'll say, any kind of stress, anything that was like really heavy for her. I think she clears out a lot of hurt, maybe a lot of difficulty. It feels like she goes beyond that. What did we get? We've got a King of Cups. It's in the reverse here. She might actually encounter another person that is not so loving, and she might get tested. And I say that because we got the Justice card. But you know what? If she has to go through that just one last time, it doesn't look like it's such a bad thing after all, because she learns that final lesson. She gets it sorted out and she ends up with an Emperor. To me, this kind of looks like she had what it took to refuse to give to somebody who didn't quite know what they wanted from her. Then she had the courage to face maybe her own stresses, her own fears, and say, I'm not going to do things like this and allow these kinds of things to throw me off guard or accept something that I don't want in my life. And then she still may have wanted to be a bit of an overgiver to someone who was emotionally not available. But I feel like that was her final test. So I feel like after them, she has one more test of someone that she meets is not emotionally available. And she goes, I told myself I won't do this again. I won't get with anyone who doesn't know why are they drawn to me. If they can't say it's because I love you, you're amazing, I'm so proud to be with you, I want to make sure you know how amazing you are. It's kind of like if they can't do that, then I'm not interested. And I think that's her final test run to make sure that she's got that lesson down pat. And then here it comes. Here comes a real deal. Maybe because she's leveled up in her own way as well. I'm ready for somebody who treats me freaking amazing. I want to treat them amazing. I want a relationship that makes sense, where we are together because we know why we're together. It's because we like each other. It's because we respect each other. It's because I choose you out of all these other billions of people on this planet. You are special to me. Like, I feel like that was the ultimate thing that she had to just get that clear in her mind. And then bam, she gets that Emperor. But yeah, it did look like there was going to be one more test run in there. I feel like this is just a storyline of, people on their journey in life, learning about themselves, learning about what's important, learning about how they want to be treated, how they want to treat others, learning about what is this all for? Well, hopefully it's to choose wisely for ourselves and to be kind and loving toward others. And if we don't know ourselves yet, to go ahead and say, maybe I need to figure some things out. I would say that's the summary of all of this. So I kind of liked this one, even though, this isn't like an epic love story per se. This is more, I would say this is more like thought-provoking because, like I said, this isn't a story where two people wind up back together, they realize some things, and then they go and they be magically in love, and they're the best thing that ever happened to one another. They actually end up with other people that are better for them. And I know nobody ever likes that story, but I actually kind of do like that story. because I feel like there's going to be a lot of relationships in life that are going to be that they're going to fit that category. Like, wow, I learned a lot from this. They weren't the right person for me, but if I hadn't met them, I wouldn't have learned some really important things that helped me get to the right person. Yeah, that's how I'm going to leave this one. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. If you do indeed enjoy my storytelling, thanks for being here. Remember, at the end of the day, that is what I am. I am not a psychic. I'm not a life coach. I don't tell you how to live. I don't predict how your life's going to go. None of that. This is all for fun. So I hope you enjoy it. I send you guys nothing but the best. May everyone choose the best for themselves. All right. Take care. Bye.